You know those people who just walk into a room and they've got it? That magnetic pull that just draws everyone in? We call it charisma, right? And for the longest time, we've all just kind of assumed you're either born with it or you're not. But what if that's totally wrong? What if that's just a myth? Well, today we're diving deep into Olivia Fox Cabane's amazing book, The Charisma Myth. And we're going to show you that this whole personal magnetism thing, it isn't magic. It's a skill. And yeah, you're about to find out exactly how to learn it.
So, let's kick things off with a story that just nails this idea perfectly. I want you to picture Marilyn Monroe, but way before she was a global superstar. She's just Norman Jean Baker, right? She's standing on a crowded New York subway platform and she's completely invisible. No one even glances her way. She gets on the train and nothing. Then, back on the street, she turns to her photographer with this playful look and asks, "Want to see her?" And boom! In that single instant, just by shifting something in her mind, she becomes Marilyn. The crowd literally stops. People are just staring. A star is born right there. She didn't change a single thing on the outside. She changed everything on the inside.
And that story, it gets right to the heart of this whole thing. We've all been sold this idea that charisma is some kind of magical gift. You either have it or you don't. But what if that's just not true? Cabane's big, game-changing idea is that charisma is not a personality trait at all. It's a set of behaviors. And what's the best thing about behaviors? You can learn them. Anyone can.
All right, so let's start by just tearing down some of those old myths. The biggest one has to be this idea that you've got to be some stunningly good-looking extrovert to have any kind of charisma.
This idea completely flips what we think we know on its head. I mean, think about it for a second. Was Winston Churchill a supermodel? Not even close, but his charisma was off the charts. The book makes such a great point. Sure, good looks can help, but they are not a requirement. In fact, studies actually show that when people start acting more charismatically, other people perceive them as being more physically attractive. So it's not that attractive people are charismatic, it's that charisma makes people attractive.
Okay, so if charisma is just a set of learnable behaviors, what in the world are they? Well, Cabane boils it all down to just 3 core components. If you can master these 3, you've basically unlocked the code.
First up, and this is the absolute bedrock of everything, is presence. This is all about being right here, right now, with the person you're talking to. It means your mind isn't off thinking about your to-do list or what you're going to have for dinner. When you are truly, fully present, you make the other person feel like they are the only person in the entire world. And let's be honest, that's a feeling we almost never get. And it is incredibly magnetic. Second, we've got power. Now hold on, this isn't about being bossy or intimidating, not at all. It's about how people perceive your ability to get things done, to affect the world around you. You know, from way back, our brains are hardwired to figure out who has influence. This power can come from being an expert, from your status, or even just from confident body language. It's that feeling people get when they think, yeah, that person can make things happen.
And number 3 is warmth. Warmth is all about goodwill. It's what signals kindness, compassion, empathy. If you think about it from that survival point of view again, power tells us if someone is capable, but warmth tells us if they're on our side. It's the one ingredient that makes someone's power feel safe and trustworthy, not threatening. It's what makes us want to be around them.
And here's the thing. The real secret sauce to charisma is all about balancing these 2. Get it wrong and, well, it's kind of disastrous. Think about it. All power, no warmth, you just come off as arrogant, cold, intimidating. Sure, people might fear you, maybe even respect you, but they're not going to follow you. On the flip side, all warmth and no power, you're just eager to please. A pushover. No one's going to take you seriously. That real, true magnetism, that effortless charm we all recognize, it only happens when you can project both power and warmth at the exact same time.
Okay, now this is where things get really, really interesting. Before you can even think about projecting this stuff outwards, you've got to get your own head straight. Cabane says that trying to fake charismatic body language when you're feeling anxious or distracted on the inside, it's like putting a beautiful coat of paint on a building that's about to fall down. The second you're under any stress, the whole act just crumbles.
So what's the biggest enemy of a solid inner state? It's a wandering mind. And you're not going to believe this. A Harvard study found that we spend, get this, 47% of our waking hours thinking about something other than what we're actually doing. Almost half of our lives, we're not fully present. That is insane. And it's exactly why when someone gives you their full, undivided attention, it feels like such an amazing gift, because it is, and it's super rare.
Now, this little fact gives us an incredible superpower for managing our minds. Just think about watching a scary movie. Your logical brain knows it's fake, but your heart is pounding, right? That's because your mind can't tell the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. And that is the secret. If you're feeling insecure, you can just vividly remember a time you felt totally on top of the world. And guess what? Your mind will release the same confident chemicals, and your body will follow. Your posture will straighten up, your voice will get deeper, you'll actually physically become more confident.
So how do we actually train our brains to be more present? Here's a super simple, really powerful exercise from the book. Just for 1 minute, try this out. Close your eyes and put all of your attention on just one single thing. It could be the little sounds you hear in the room, or the physical sensation of your breath coming in and going out. Cabane even suggests just focusing on the feeling in your toes. It sounds almost too simple, but doing this is like a workout for your presence muscle. It yanks your mind back from all those distractions and puts it right here, in the moment.
All right, so once you start working on your inner game, you could start consciously projecting the outer signals of power and warmth. And the best part is, you don't need a total personality makeup. It's all about making small, deliberate changes.
So here are 3 simple, almost ridiculously easy ways to instantly seem more powerful. First, when you get to the end of a sentence, let your voice drop down in pitch, instead of going up like you're asking a question. It just sounds way more certain. Second, stop nodding so much. A single slow nod says, I get it. Constantly bobbing your head says, please, please like me. And third, and trust me, this one is a total game changer. Pause. For 2 full seconds before you speak. It shows you're confident, and it makes people lean in and hang on your every word.
And what about projecting warmth? Honestly, this one quote says it all. It comes from a woman talking about having dinner with 2 rival British prime ministers. Gladstone was all power, and she left feeling like he was brilliant. But Disraeli, who had mastered both power and warmth, left her feeling like she was brilliant. Isn't that incredible? The ultimate sign of charismatic warmth isn't convincing people how great you are. It's making them feel great about themselves. And can you guess who won more elections? Yeah, Disraeli.
So, as we start to wrap this up, the big takeaway here is really clear. Charisma is not some kind of voodoo or magic. It's not something you're either born with or you're not. It's a science. It's the result of specific ways of thinking and acting that anyone can learn, practice, and eventually master.
So, what are the key things to remember? First, and this is the most important one, charisma is a skill, not a gift. You can learn this. Second, it all boils down to just 3 things: presence, power, and warmth. Third, it all starts on the inside. Get your inner state right, and the outer charisma will naturally follow. And finally, remember that tiny little changes can have a huge impact. You don't need to change who you are, you just need to make a few simple tweaks.
Look, the goal here isn't to become a totally different person by tomorrow. It's just about taking one small step. So, I have a question for you. What's the one thing you can practice this week? Are you going to focus on being more present when you talk to people? Are you going to try that 2-second pause before you speak? Or maybe you'll make it your mission to make someone else feel like the smartest person in the room. Your journey to becoming more charismatic starts with that one simple choice.